Welcome back to Cinema Cult. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
And welcome to our first virtual event. Is this the first time we've done a Zoom?
Virtual event.
We did virtual events technically in the beginning of year 2020. And it was audio only, but this is the first time we're doing video capture of our
It makes it a little bit better.
I like how you called it an event. It made it bigger though. Like you calling it event was like, whoa.
This is better being able to see each other already. This is.
I agree.
Yeah, because we talked about it off the podcast, but the disconnection between doing just virtual audio, it wasn't as fun. I feel like we were all like, we weren't in the, because of the point of doing the podcast is that a way we can be in the same room together and hang out.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is already like a lot better than sitting out in the freezing cold and or doing a three-way phone call.
Freezing to death to do a podcast.
Yeah.
We did the past, I think, 4 or 5 episodes outside, and it was fine at first, but after a while, it's just not fun to do because it's so cold and we're rushing through the episodes. And I don't think any of the episodes were bad, but we're in February now. It's February now. It's just getting colder.
Yeah.
Right.
I think honestly, if we just get out of February, we might be good.
I would say March too, but besides the point, it is February and it is Denzel Washington month. And we were going to start off with Ricochet, but you can't find it anywhere because it was
streaming on HBO Max, but I guess they took it off recently.
Well, according to Matt, that's good news because he hates that movie.
I don't hate it. He
didn't watch past like literally the first 5 minutes of the movie.
No, right? I watched the first 20 minutes of that movie and I turned it off right after the part where Denzel Washington strips down into his underwear.
That's the first 5 minutes of the movie.
And John Lithgow's so distracted by it, and then he pulls like a tiny little gun out and gets him. And I was like, this is already on a...
Well, I'll tell you what.
And I meant to return to it, but they took it back off HBO. So
since we're probably not going to watch it, I watched it recently, like probably fall time. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was a very good movie.
Really?
Very good.
Honestly, and I'm in the minority on this. Like, apparently this is a really good movie that I have not seen. It had like a high rating. Like,
it's pretty bonkers. Some of the stuff that happens throughout the movie is really crazy.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll return to it again sometime, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like the movie you replaced your pick with,
it's gonna be way worse. And
really?
Are you doing Virtuosity?
I think that's what we should do.
Okay. I've never seen Virtuosity.
It's very stupid, but I think we'll have a fun time talking about it.
Like fun stupid?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I've always wanted to see it. So but the whole plan was to kind of go in chronological order of his films. But then we were like, all right, we can't find Ricochet. We'll figure it out later. So for now, we'll just do Training Day, which we're going to do anyway, from 2001. We have all seen this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this in years.
I'm going to say I haven't seen it in its entirety probably since it like first came out.
Yeah, since it hit DVD was the last time I saw this.
Yeah, it's probably been a good 10 years. To start off the conversation, how much was the budget?
I'm gonna go with 90 mil. No, 60 mil. 70
million. 70 million.
45.
Oh,
yeah. $45.
What?
Wow.
Yep. How much did it make?
Shoestring.
How much did it make domestically?
110 million.
130.
76.
Oh, really?
Man.
Surprisingly.
Wow, this movie's so much like it has so much like I guess cult status to it then if it made that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this movie was a big deal, right? And that's all it made.
Well, I mean, it was up for multiple Oscars.
Technically, that is a profit. I'm really shitting on it.
Never mind, forget it.
Sorry, I'm really shitting on it. Whoa. Like the roof just caves down. Like
your feed cuts out.
It goes black, and then you two just continue the podcast.
Okay, so I guess
so Honto, how much worldwide?
No, actually no. But anyways, it made a profit, so that's good.
Yeah,
like I'm shitting on it, but it made a profit. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it was up for so many Oscars. Denzel won. Ethan Hawke was up for Best Supporting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Antoine Fuqua was up for Best Director.
Maybe.
But it was up for a lot of things. The attention was there. Without getting distracted, how much do you think it made worldwide?
60 million.
Did you just look it up? Why are you looking off to the right of your screen, Honto?
I'm looking at the sky again.
You looked off to the side of your screen like this. You're like, hold on. And I heard a click.
1 second.
Like you were like looking up the. Like
Let me just scroll through this real quick. No, I was actually looking up Antoine Fuqua to see if he got nominated for an Oscar. But
okay.
I'm saying, did I say 70 million or 80 million?
You said 60, I think.
Oh, 60. Okay,
whatever you want to go with. You can change it. It's not
60 million. 6 million is fine.
Okay.
Are we talking about? I'm gonna
just worldwide. Just say worldwide altogether. So I told you it made 76 domestically, and then Honto, you said worldwide altogether it made 60.
Oh, I thought you were saying like overseas or whatever.
You're good.
Like what was the budget overseas?
150 worldwide.
Damn
worldwide,
it! I just said 150.
Well,
160. 160.
104.
Cool.
Wow. Really? Like
cool.
We are overshooting on this one, aren't we?
Yeah, we kind of are. I think because of the accolades that this movie received.
Good word use.
Thanks.
And then Rotten Tomatoes score.
92.
81.
73.
Wow.
Yeah. This might be the worst game of guess that number ever.
Sometimes I really just don't trust Rotten Tomatoes as a...
It's an opinion.
I don't either, Honto.
Well, it's
because what movie
opinion.
were we just talking about?
Not to trust them.
Because Chris, what movie were we just talking about a couple days ago where it had like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Gremlins 2.
Yeah, Gremlins 2. What?
Yeah.
Really?
No, what were you asking?
The question I just asked.
Open your ears.
Open your ears. You're so busy like with the next joke that what movie were we just talking about a couple days ago?
He's like thinking of like chess. He's trying to think of like 3 jokes ahead of time.
True.
I'm 3 moves ahead of you. No, like, forget it. I don't even want to talk about it.
What movie did you recently watch or see on Rotten Tomatoes that had like a 92% that was very surprising?
I watched, was it Audition?
Oh, really? I could see that being like a high.
Yeah, I could see that being high.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I watched recently was Audition and The Brood, and those were both high.
Didn't we watch VFW with each other?
Yes, we did.
Oh, you watched VFW?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's like a generic like Assault on Precinct 13 type.
Yes.
Movie.
That's what I told Chris, because Chris has never seen Assault, and I was like, "This is basically the plot.
Yeah.
This is the plot line for Assault."
But it uses like the modern violent gore or whatever that these movies are doing these days.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, are you sponsoring a product on there?
No, sir.
What do you? Honto, are you? I don't have anything to. Was it Igloo? No, it's Yeti.
It looks so big.
It's a jumbo.
It's a cooler. It's like the baseball game ones.
He drowned in his apartment. That's crazy.
What if I looked down and I was like, oh, and I just flew up that way?
Can we? This is all post CGI that we got to edit in.
Yeah,
of course. VFW had like a 91 or 92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's probably based off of like three reviews or something.
But it's higher than Training Day.
Oh man.
But so 73 on Rotten Tomatoes. Honto, why don't you go ahead and break down that cast and crew? I'm trying to go with the tone of the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. We'll talk about that.
Okay. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. He has quite a bit of movies on his filmography.
Okay.
Stupid.
The way you were selling it.
No, I was basically trying to say there's a surprise movies that I didn't know he directed, but it came out weird. The Replacement Killers, which I originally thought was like a John Woo movie. It was with, I think, Chow Yun-fat.
Yeah, it was Chow Yun-fat's. It's like his like break into American audiences. Like
I remember seeing. I think Mia Sorvino, I think, is also in that movie.
Isn't Keanu Reeves in that?
Mandy, get out of here. Go. Sorry, continue. I thought that was on Chris's screen. I realized there's a ghost in my apartment. Like I turned into the girl from The Ring. I'm like,
Honto drowned, and Matt was scared to death.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Keanu Reeves, is he in the Replacement Killers?
No, that's the Replacements.
Were there killers on the football field? That's about it.
They were about to be killed. Or John Favreau actually is a killer on that football field.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I couldn't get through it or something.
What? The Replacements? Or the Replacement Killers?
The Replacements.
Replacements.
They're both decent movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen those movies in a very long time. I probably won't revisit them anytime soon. But continuing on with his filmography, we have Bait, which is a Jamie Foxx vehicle. Tears of the Sun, Bruce Willis, King Arthur, Shooter, which I think is a decent movie.
Wait, he directed a movie called Bruce Willis?
No, it's with Tears of the Sun. It's starring Bruce Willis.
Chris.
Oh, I didn't hear Tears of the Sun.
These are 45-minute Zoom calls. Okay? If you're going to ask a question, ask a smart question.
I will ask, this is a serious question. Training Day is his first movie, right?
No.
No, it's not.
I think it's like his.
Chris,
I think
it's a 45-minute Zoom call.
There's no. I don't think there's a.
No
I don't
stupid
think
questions.
I don't think there's a limit on the Zoom call. I think we're good. We're good.
Okay,
so
good.
He can ask all the dumbest questions in the world.
What's his big movie before Training Day?
I think it was The Replacement Killers and Bait were the first two, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I was surprised. So yeah, Replacement Killers 98, Bait 2000, and then Training Day is his third feature.
I always thought this was his first movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's why I was surprised.
I thought he was known for something else in the 90s that I hadn't seen.
No, maybe writing or producing, but I didn't look into that. Brooklyn's Finest, Olympus Has Fallen, Equalizer 1 and 2, and then Magnificent 7. Then he's got a couple movies coming up soon.
Which one was Brooklyn's Finest? Is it Ethan Hawke?
I feel like that's basically like almost like he ripped off his own movie, Training Day.
Really?
And it's like Ethan Hawke is now a corrupt cop. But then there's also Richard Gere and Don Cheadle are also cops in that movie. So it's like three perspectives,
And I'll say this though about his filmography that kind of blew my mind was I totally forgot that Denzel and Ethan Hawke are in Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, yep. That's what I was also
totally forgot about that.
I was going through the filmography, yeah.
That's cool.
Do they have scenes together in that?
Yeah, they're both in the 7.
They're in the 7. They're supposed to interact with each other.
Sorry, I don't know your special movie.
I've never seen it, but it was on I think it was like number 1 for like 2016 or something.
It was not my number 1.
Chris,
I did put it in my top 10. It's a good movie.
Both had that movie on that.
Yeah, because remember, Chris, we went to the movie theaters and you said, like, wouldn't it be cool if I watched this movie with my sunglasses on? And I said, no, that's a bad idea. And you still did it. So maybe that's how that's why you forgot about the movie.
It's possible. Going on with the cast and crew.
Did he write this? Did he write this as well?
Written by David Ayer. He did previous episodes, The Suicide Squad and Bright, both of which are two very big stinkers in my opinion.
Okay.
But he does like his writing style is basically like revolves around cops and corruption on the streets. I think he also did Harsh Times with Christian Bale.
Oh yeah, I remember Harsh Times was like really pushed as like the new Training Day.
I think Harsh Times was like almost immediately after Training Day. It was like, let's do the same style, whatever. But he also directed End of Watch, also cops, on the streets.
Did you see End of Watch? Any of you guys see it?
I saw it in theaters.
Cool movie.
Yeah, it's like almost like a found footage movie. It's all like from the perspective of the cop cameros.
It's a cool movie.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And then he did like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I can't remember what it's called.
Junior.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sabotage, that like really gritty Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from 2014. But he also did like Fury, which is like the tank movie. So
that's a good movie.
He's got a bunch of like gritty action. Most of them are like cops on the streets type.
Okay.
Man, we haven't even started the cast yet. This is crazy. Starring Denzel Washington as Alonso Harris. Lots of movies on his filmography. It's crazy. Very talented actor. He's been in several Antoine Fuqua movies. Just go through the previous section. Ethan Hawke as Jake Hoyt. Previous episode, Explorers. We've talked about several times Assault on Precinct 13, the remake. about doing like a versus episode. So I don't know.
I'm nervous to watch that because I feel like we built that movie so high up.
Yeah.
Because my memories are really good of that movie.
Yeah, I remember it being a surprise remake, like hit for a remake.
Yeah.
I was online the other day and I was like looking at some comment board underneath the Carpenter thing about how they're remaking. I don't know. They're remaking some Carpenter movie. And everyone was talking about how like Assault was like is the best of his remakes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because it was around the same time as I think they did the Fog remake with the dude from Smallville. And that was like not a good movie at all. And then that movie came out almost immediately after, and it was surprisingly,
it was the same time. Yeah,
it's actually kind of surprising how far we've gotten now that like. More of these haven't been remade. Like They Live and Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China still haven't been touched. It's kind of surprising.
I'm going to say I think Big Trouble in Little China I think is like still in the works of being remade, and I don't know if The Rock is still attached to that or what. But
I hope
I
think he is. Recently they said something about it too, so I think it's still in the works.
And I think the route they're going is like it's not supposed to be Jack Burton, I think. Or something like that.
But it's in the same world though, or
yeah. I don't know. Just don't know.
I think Hollywood right now is an IP world, so they're not even gonna like
they have plenty of time to figure out their original content because like nobody's seeing movies at all,
No.
But yeah, Dead Poet Society Gattaca, the Sunset Midnight trilogy, is that all by what's his face who did like Dazed and Confused?
Mm-hmm. I think he's in my top 5 favorite actors.
He's pretty talented.
Yeah.
I feel like after Training Day, he's kind of started doing like not risky movies, but like doing like these kind of like genre movies, like Sinister and like The Purge. I feel like he's kind of like what's his? I can't think of names. Frodo from Lord of the Rings. Why can't I think of his name?
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, Elijah Wood. How he kind of like kind of spins off and does these like weird roles and like weird horror movies or like weird comedies and stuff. So I feel like they're kind of like in the same vein,
I like him a lot. I think he's a very down to earth actor. Yeah. I feel like every movie I've seen him in, he doesn't feel like too Hollywood, I guess. Right. And I think that's why that's why he was in movies like the Sunset trilogy. Yeah. Before I can't remember. Is it called the Before trilogy?
I can't remember.
Is that what people call it?
It's like before sunset, before sunrise, and then after midnight or something.
Yeah. But they call it like the Before trilogy.
Yeah.
He actually has a TED Talks too.
Does he?
Oh wow. Huh.
Dude, my head perked up on that. Not that I'm a huge fan of TED Talks, but I'd love to hear what. Like,
I had no idea you were a fan this entire time.
Are you serious?
No, he did a Criterion Closet video, and it was really cool to watch him. Like as far as like doing his thing, right? But I'm trying to and then like that's why I think he works with like Richard Linklater so much.
Yeah,
because he's a very
Boyhood and then that trilogy. And has he done anything else like? Not really sure if he's done anything else with them.
He did that trilogy. He did Boyhood.
Did he do like Sex, Lies, and Videotapes or whatever? Did he do that movie or?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. He's actually a big author too. He's actually written like 3 or 4 novels.
Is he?
And he had one that came out recently, and like the reviews are like awesome for it. It's something about knights or something like that, or I don't know. It's supposed to be a really good book though.
Next up, we got Scott Glenn as Roger. He's like the drug dealer that they meet up with.
Which I totally remembered it being I can't think of his name, from Near Dark and Millennium.
Dude, right? Lance Henriksen?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they both look kind of like similar.
That's so crazy you said that, because I kept waiting. Like when he walked in, I was like, yeah, the part where Lance Henriksen's in this movie.
I wonder if they've ever played
Glenn,
brothers.
I was like,
I wonder if they've ever like played brothers in a movie, because they look very similar. Yeah. He's awesome. If you guys haven't seen the show The Leftovers on HBO, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent on the show. It's only 3 seasons, so it's only like 15 episodes or something, or 16 episodes. But very good. Cliff Curtis, Raymond Cruz, they're both the guys they meet up later in the movie where spoiler, Ethan Hawke gets it. I like those guys.
Okay.
Raymond Cruz is from Breaking Bad as Tuco Salamanca.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Dr. Dre pops up, Snoop Dogg, Macey Gray. There's like a lot of bit parts in this movie, which is kind of like, I feel like they do a good job of sprinkling like some actors here and there. Especially like musicians and stuff. So
yeah, I feel like it adds a little bit more
personality.
I don't want to say gravity to the scene, but yeah, more personality when like you're like, oh, it's Snoop Dogg and he does a good job. And it's like, oh, it's Dr. Dre and he does a really good job. And
they're
it's
only
like, oh, it's
in it
Macey
for
Gray.
like, they're only in it for like a few minutes because they're, in the movie, they're driving from location to location. So you're meeting all these kind of people that are on the streets, involved in like the crime world or whatever. So it's kind of awesome seeing
stand out.
Yeah, and especially when you got Harris Yulin and Tom Berenger later on, you got like another side of like the streets basically, which is cool. But yeah, a lot of people.
It's a good way to put that. I like that.
A lot of people in this movie, and
I don't know if you brought him up, but returning actor, bad guy from The Mask. I don't know
Peter
if you
Greene.
said his name.
Peter Greene. Yeah, previous episode. He pops up in The Mask, Pulp Fiction, Judgment Night, Usual Suspects. He plays like a lot of villain roles.
I totally forgot he was in Pulp Fiction.
Did you guys ever see Permanent Midnight?
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about with
Ben Stiller?
Yeah, where he's like a heroin addict.
Oh man.
I want to say he's in that as well.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like it's this movie. I've only seen like half of it, but I just didn't know if you guys saw it. That's why I brought it up. That's it.
Hey, you don't have to defend it. It was a good question.
No, I've never heard anybody talk about this movie, but it was like Ben Stiller made this movie about him being a heroin addict back in the 90s.
I've always wanted to see that.
Oh, wow.
And it was just kind of like I feel like nobody talked about it. And it's like, I feel like it should have had something to say, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So is that it for your cast and crew?
Taylor Cruz pops up.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eva Mendes.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I not mention her?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking up her filmography. I was surprised. I guess I didn't realize she like retired from acting in 2014.
Did you really?
The last movie she was in was Lost River, which is directed by Ryan Gosling. I think they are partners.
They have a kid together. I know that.
So.
Oh yeah. They are together, aren't they? I didn't realize that. Right. I didn't realize she quit though.
Yeah, I was just looking up when I was looking up her filmography. It just says last final feature. And no television or really anything. So she's kind of, I think, just kind of retired.
Another actress that's retired that I forget about is Cameron Diaz.
Really?
Yeah, she hasn't made a movie in I think it's 8 or 9 years.
Do you think it's because she retired or she isn't as popular anymore?
I don't know. I mean, she was making hits up until she stopped. I knew she married the guy from Good Charlotte and they have kids.
What the? That's so weird.
I know. It sounds random, doesn't it? Yeah.
Hey, I was wrong. Peter Greene's not in Permanent Midnight. I just brought that movie up out of nowhere. That's what I've been looking at for the past 3 minutes. Hold on. Wasn't he? No, he's
from
not.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm just like,
oh, hey, no, Chris. It says right here, Ethan Hawke and Denzel were in scenes together in Magnificent Seven.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. That's why I've been quiet for 15 minutes.
So anyways, I want to talk about Eva Mendes for a second.
Okay.
Do you guys feel that Eva Mendes fits in this movie?
It's not like it's a huge role or anything.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like when Ethan Hawke goes to her house to meet her, I feel like it's the exact scene from the other guys.
I wrote down my notes.
What's that? And he's like, "What? She's cute." And no, who is that?
Cute at best.
I feel like Eva Mendes is just drop dead beautiful.
No, seriously, Alonso, who is that?
And I feel like as we're driving, everybody we've met has a kind of fit. You know what I mean? Everyone looks has I would say has some wear and tear to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like when they show her, I'm just holy crap.
Who is
that?
Yeah. Who is that? I mean, I think they're kind of just setting her up as because Denzel or Alonso mentions how he has a wife and 4 sons.
Yeah.
And this is very clearly not the wife, and there are 3 sons that are missing. So this is kind of a side relationship.
Yeah, because I think he says it too. He says it's a side, one of his stops or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. But I think it kind of puts the question at the end is like how Ethan Hawke finds him.
Yeah.
Is like he goes there, but it's like are you sure he's going to be there? You know what I mean? Because it's not his home. That's just his like one
but
of his stops.
Also, you know, it's kind of like Denzel has control of that territory. So it's kind of like he's using that as like a defense. So like Ethan Hawke doesn't like come after him because he's going to use the people in the area to.
Oh, okay. Then you talked me into it. That makes total sense now. Then yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, you sold me on that.
You know, kind of.
Oh, what's that? Go ahead.
I was going to say, so has Denzel, after we talk about this, we'll go into the movie. Has Denzel ever done anything goofy? Like, has he ever done like a goofy side, like a Matt Damon and Euro Trip type thing? Like, has he ever done like just something like kind of off the wall?
I don't know. Like a pop-up cameo where it's like in a comedy or something.
Or just even like a Funny or Die skit or just something funny. Like, I feel like I don't want to say
he's in a lot
serious actor, but I don't know.
Maybe when he does that plane upside down in Flight, maybe that's a funny role.
Dude, that's actually that's a decent movie.
And he's like drinking and doing drugs the entire movie.
Oh, so you took that as a comedy? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, do that flying upside down thing again.
Looking through it, I can't find anything that matches up to what you're asking, Chris.
There's a lot of action movies, and I mean, I would say maybe now I'm like going through this, maybe Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg. It says a buddy cop action film. So action comedy. I'm sorry. So
did you ever see Heart Condition?
Oh,
I knew you were going to bring that up.
That's probably the closest to what you're talking about because it's like it's a very weirdly toned movie.
Yeah.
Or like
Bob Hoskins.
Because it's like I think we brought it up during our buddy cop.
Yeah, we did. I remember
discussion years ago. And then like when it gets to the end, it's very serious action. It's like
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's
the poster is so goofy for Heart
the poster's like probably what you're talking about, Chris.
A tough cop, a dead lawyer, and Denzel's just smiling.
See if we can see it up there on the screen.
Yeah, that's goofy looking. Yeah. I mean, he's not cameoed in any Adam Sandler movies, has he?
That's the day his career dies, I feel like.
Dude, but they surprise everybody, man. You got to keep everybody on their toes. Like,
could you imagine seeing an Adam Sandler movie in theaters? Well, for any of us, going to the theater to see an Adam Sandler movie would be a surprise. But then seeing Denzel Washington in that movie would be even more of a surprise.
Yeah, but he could do it. He could do it. Like, they just did Uncut Gems. Like,
yeah,
that's true.
I feel like if Denzel was asked to be in an Adam Sandler movie, he'd be like, I'm not doing that. And then just move on with his life.
No, I know sometimes we knock Adam Sandler or we kind of make fun of it, but how much of our money have we given to him? Whether it's been the theaters or the DVDs or
a lot of money.
Maybe like
more than I've given to my school loans.
Oh,
what?
They're coming after you.
That's too much.
All right, let's talk about Training Day 2001. Starts off, Ethan Hawke, I guess he's like a rookie cop who does like your basic like traffic tickets type thing.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Just like, guess the basic patrol, DUI stop is like one of the stories he talks about. So it's just kind of like the general, it's got a cop partner. And then I think he's basically doing police tryouts to become a detective.
Yeah. And so this whole day is him with Denzel Washington getting ready to learn the ropes. And their first scene together is in the diner.
Yeah.
And
uncomfortable.
It is so uncomfortable. And it's such a great intro because it tells you who Denzel's character is going to be. Like, and it's funny too. Like, he's so quick in this movie.
Yeah.
And I will say this is one of the few movies I feel like there's not a wasted word in this movie. I feel like every sentence is important to like character development or the scene or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to spoil my rating on this, but I feel like this is a near perfect movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, as far as like story mechanics go, it is very well written. And it is like, I feel like I'm in the majority of it, especially for this first hour, is dialogue scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It's him just talking to him and it's like kind of saying the same thing over and over, but like I'm all ears.
You're getting a lot of backstory on the characters real fast, like within these opening minutes. So you kind of like get an establishing or it establishes like that Denzel is like kind of a corrupt dude. I guess you don't really see the corrupt like nature until they kill the guy, but you kind of get hints here and there with it, and then you get with Ethan Hawke that he's really playing, he's really brown nosing to get this like job as a detective. So you kind of
think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, you see it like he kind of talks about how he's going to get the job. He's going to do whatever he can to get the job. Like when he's talking to his wife in the beginning, and then you just hear in the dialogue every time he says "sir" to Denzel, he's really basically sucking ass.
Well, I guess he. I guess he would be.
I've never heard that.
Well, I guess he is sucking ass because he ends up smoking PCP to impress his boss. So
right. He doesn't know it though. He doesn't know it.
But he still smokes weed to impress his boss.
Yeah. And then he also eventually drinks like that can of beer when they're celebrating that bust, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like doing whatever. I mean, it's very clear that he's getting set up and he's kind of just following along, I guess.
I like this though. I like how naive it is, where it's like, I'm just going to do whatever I can to,
he says
out and not say no to anything.
He does. I mean, even in the beginning, he says, I will do anything you want me to do. And that kind of sets up like, oh, okay, I got you,
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like a high school experience.
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, he basically gets kind of like he gets peer pressured into like everything he does for the first hour. It's just let me be your friend. I want to be your friend.
Denzel's wearing overalls, spanking him with the paddle. So the majority of this movie is, I feel like the first half is not really story driven, but it's more character driven.
Conversational.
Because it's just, it's more like these scenes. You have, they bust these kids. Go ahead.
I think it's more story driven, and then the second half's more plot driven.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first half is setting up the characters. And then the second half is when the plot, you actually realize what this movie's about.
Especially when
you
like on it. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you.
No, 3, 2, 1.
Coke, buy me a Coke.
Brothers.
No, I was just going to say, like, right when you find out, I think it's after he meets, like, the three kings. It's like Tom Berenger and Harris Yulin and the other guy. It's like when you get that hint of, like, why Denzel's collecting or going from place to place and collecting this money. That's when it starts transitioning into like the plot pieces of like, this is why he's doing all this stuff.
I think honestly, what's kind of cool is it does look like it's just character driven for this first hour, but it is plot when you go back and rewatch it because you realize like the things that are happening are setting up the second half.
Yeah.
Like him taking the money is him to get the arrest warrant to get the rest of the money for him to get out of the situation he's in.
Even the beginning when they leave that diner and he's like, hey, grab that menu off the windshield, and he uses that to basically as a fake search warrant to like basically get the money from Macey Gray,
Dude, this movie is so well written.
Yeah,
it's pretty well thought out, which is awesome, like revisiting it,
And everybody sells it so well. Like Denzel and Ethan, like they act in this movie. Like
I honestly can't imagine any other people being in these roles, to be honest.
Yeah.
I heard some casting rumors where it was like at one point they asked Eminem, they asked like
so weird.
Sam Jackson and Matt Damon.
Okay.
I think Russell Crowe. I mean, but it's also I hate this kind of hearsay stuff where trivia is like, if you ever go back into a movie in the 90s and you look at the trivia and it's like for an action movie, they're like, well, the studio was considering every big name actor at that time for this part. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, you mean they talked about it in the boardroom like meeting beforehand, but it wasn't really like
Jack Black for Green Lantern. Like we got to get Jack Black. You know.
Exactly. Where it's like, unless these people were like in meetings to do it. Like for instance, like, okay, for this situation, Tobey Maguire was originally supposed to play Ethan Hawke's character, right?
Just coming off of Spider-Man 1, I think.
Yeah, and he gained
just coming off of Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
The weird hair.
He he did all this training and gained weight for the part.
Oh, weird.
And then Ethan, because like what happened was that Anton Fuqua asked Ethan Hawke if he could do it, and Ethan Hawke said he couldn't do it at the time. So he hired Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire gained all this weight, did all the training, and then Ethan Hawke said, "Actually, I can do it," and then he fired Tobey Maguire.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
That's a bummer.
so, but like that's okay. That right there, that's casting history, not like that shitty IMDb stuff where it's just like, well, they thought about Bruce Willis, they thought about Adam Sandler, they thought about Ben Affleck.
That's still, they still thought about it.
Everybody
it's not
thought
like
I heard a rumor that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Matt, I watched Collateral last week, and they were trying, and I guess like legit casting news was it was written for Russell Crowe and Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
That's so
Which
weird.
I can kind of see.
With Adam Sandler as the Tom Cruise role?
Yes. with his
like,
drive on.
oh, that's great.
With his water boy haircut, he's like going through the club.
Yeah.
We like Adam Sandler. We cannot deny it.
I say he's come up on the podcast so many times.
Yeah, he's our patron. He's the patron saint of the Cinema Cult Network podcast.
So just to go through some of the scenes of the movie. So we have them busing like the college kids.
Yeah,
and then
real quick, did you notice who the driver was?
Cabin in the Woods.
Yep, the stoner from Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Goods.
Cabin the Goods. That's my that's the knockoff movie that you see in the rental store.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cabin in the Goods. It sounds like that.
You got the wrong movie, Mom and Dad.
It sounds like a mix between Cabin in the Woods and that movie, The Goods, you guys always talk about.
Oh, is that the Michael Keaton or something?
No, with Jeremy Piven.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jeremy Piven. Yeah.
Cabin in the Goods.
But yeah, the driver who is driving the car is the stoner from Cabin in the Goods.
So what's cool about these scenes is like, so they bust these college kids for buying pot, and then he makes Ethan Hawke smoke it, and he's like, yeah, you gotta know what it tastes like, et cetera, et cetera.
I feel like this is very 2001, by the way, or 2002. They're like, yeah, smoke this weed. And he's like, I can't smoke this weed. And it's like nowadays, I feel like
it's legal.
It's legal, and like nobody, like I don't think any cop would turn it down. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think a cop would smoke on the job though. Maybe. I feel like
you don't.
I would feel
that.
like I was being set up. If someone's like, "No, here, you got to smoke this," like I'd be like, "I'm not stupid."
High school.
Yeah.
So just
high school cops.
But actually, no. But Denzel has a really good point, though. He has a really good 21 Jump Street. He has a really good point for why he should do it, because it's like, hey, you're gonna get offered this stuff out in the field.
Like you got to get to.
You can't turn it down. They're gonna know you're a cop as soon as you turn it down. And it's like, okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I feel like Denzel is so manipulative in this movie.
Yeah,
and it's why it's so entertaining to watch his character. Like everything he says, you're just kind of like, I don't know. I just feed into everything. It's just,
dude, he is a power monster in this movie, and dude, because I feel like he's like he's so evil. He's a great like villain, but like the power that he just like takes on in each scene, like he eats this movie, dude. And I can't imagine anybody else in this role.
You got Denzel Washington as a power monster and Ethan Hawke sucking ass in this movie.
Yeah, and Cabin in the Goods.
Cabin in the Goods.
Okay, well, just for fun, Z's, if you had to recast Denzel, who would you put in that role?
The Sandman.
I know it's...
Sandman.
Oh, you said Sandman?
Yeah, the Sandman. The Sandman.
Oh, you mean you said Scott Glenn's character, the Sandman? In this movie?
Yeah. Is that who he is?
That's the Sandman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you actually said Sandman, I thought of Billy or Bobcat Goldthwait from Are You Afraid of the Dark when he plays that Sandman character. All your dreams, you ever smoke this weed.
It's PCP.
PCP.
You idiot.
Angel dust.
King Kong. I would honestly, if you're going to recast it, you got to pick somebody who could intimidate you. And I think that's why Denzel works, is like, because he's super intimidating.
I'm just trying to think, around that time, who is like...
It's hard. It's hard to pick who would be a substitute.
I don't know who you could. I can't feel like anything to suit up to that level. I don't know. I could see maybe Tom Cruise selling it. Like, just because he's got that charm, plus he could, I don't know, you could buy into Tom Cruise, I feel like.
Yeah.
So,
but I said that earlier that Sam Jackson was reported to be another casting choice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's another actor though that like is a power monster. He like
Power Monster 5000.
That's awesome. But he's another one that's like there's no way you can put Sam Jackson in the backseat of a car and him not like his
like
presence
taking control of every scene pretty much.
Yeah, him not being able to take control. And I feel like that is the strength to both those actors, but also their weakness, because this is the turning point with Denzel's career, where after this moment, he can't just play like a normal dude anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's got to play a guy that like is able to take the room by the coattails. I don't know what that means. The room, they have rooms have coattails.
It makes sense. Yeah.
No, but take the scene and he can be able just to chew it apart. And you see it even if it's like something where it's like, if you guys ever saw Fences?
Mm-mm.
Like even with Fences, like he's still like that powerful character, even though he's in this tiny like little bubble of a world that he's created.
You see it?
Yeah. So
is it any good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
But like he just can't go. He can't revert now. Like he can't go backwards. Like he can't play a character that's like a
Euro trip.
Yeah, a Euro trip character, like a college kid. He can't play a college kid anymore.
All because of Training Day.
Oh man,
I'm just a college kid trying to pay for my loans. That's twice that came up this episode.
That's good.
But do you guys get what I mean though? As far as like, I think it's kind of like, and same with Sam Jackson, it's like they're cursed. They can't revert anymore. Like they've got to be whatever his character is in the Avengers.
Oh, Nick Fury, or
he's like they either have to be Nick Fury or they've got to be any of the characters. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's like The Man with Eugene Levy.
Yes.
Oh, wait, what? I don't even know what that is.
But yeah, they just can't revert anymore. They can't play like just like the normal guy who has a family who's like, you know what? I don't feel like talking about this situation. I'm just gonna let everything just like.
That's
play
true.
out.
I mean, I can't think of like a Denzel or Sam Jackson movie where it's like, it's this movie about family. You know what I mean? Oh, I guess.
Where they're like a naive, stupid character and like, no, sorry, not stupid, but they're a naive character that don't know what's going on all the time.
National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1 with Sam Jackson.
Yeah, there you go.
Did Sam Jackson win an Oscar?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
Okay, I didn't think he has either.
But no, Flight is like that, and I really enjoyed Denzel's like his
it's pretty good
portrayal in Flight, because he's kind of like, it's them cutting a normal dude down, like because it's all about like him it's him screwing up. And
so you're saying
one of the best like performances that he's had.
Everything you just said for the past like 20 minutes about like you can't go back to a normal guy, and you're like, have you guys seen Flight? It's about just this screw up who can't do anything.
But
right.
I'm just saying that like it's like he can't do, because like I don't think Flight did that well, and I don't think it did any Oscars or anything like that. And it was
got
kind of
nominated
like,
for that.
I think it's because he did.
I think so, yeah.
But like I think it's because like it's hard for people to look at Denzel as just a normal character, like a normal. And
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, he got nominated for Best Actor for Flight.
Did he?
Yeah.
But I don't think he won any Oscars. That movie did.
No.
So to go back onto the movie, did you have something, Matt? I feel like
it's just a quiet pause.
Yeah, it was great.
So as the movie goes on, they keep running these like little situations where like Denzel meets up with Snoop Dogg, who sells narcotics, and Ethan Hawke chases him. And so Snoop Dogg takes all of his, I guess it's crack he has.
Yeah.
And he swallows it so they can't catch him with it. And Denzel shoves a pen down his throat and makes him throw up.
Man.
And whole scene.
The reaction. Yeah. I was like,
it was gross.
But even his like one-liner when as they're leaving, there's like all the puke and the crack on the floor. And Denzel's like, "You want to collect the evidence?"
Like, nah.
And like, it's so like everything he says is just so like quick.
Yeah.
And even when they stop, or Ethan Hawke stops the girl from getting raped in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Denzel just leans against that wall and he just watches them. And it's just, I don't know. And you're kind of sitting there like, why isn't he jumping in? And everything he does has so much like.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's just because like, you know, he's been on the job for X amount of years. He's already a bad dude at this point. So it's kind of just like, I've seen it all. It's just another.
Well,
another
I think he
day,
has an MO for it, though. I think everything he does, he has an MO. He's not doing anything just to do it. Like Matt said, as this movie, when you rewatch it, everything he does, he's doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's not just. Go ahead, Matt.
I can't remember this, but why does he go to Macey Gray's house? What leads him there?
I think he thinks the Sandman is there. Or no, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. I thought it was too, because like the way they set it up is because Snoop Dogg's like, who's your dealer? And he's like, oh, the Sandman. Yeah. And then the next scene, they're going to Macey Gray's house.
Oh, so I think Macey Gray is the Sandman's wife. And I got it wrong. I don't think Scott Glenn is the Sandman.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
For some reason, I always thought it was like his like street name was the Sandman, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. But Macey Gray is the Sandman's wife. And when he asks if he's home and he's not, that's why they like kind of bust in and look for the money, or at least Alonso does.
Yeah. Speaking of that scene, when Macey Gray just keeps talking to Ethan Hawke, I just want Ethan Hawke to shut up. I'm like, don't feed into her, man. Don't feed her. And then it just keeps going on. You just feel like the awkwardness for him of him just like sitting there, and like you can tell he's unsure in that scene of like, why are we here? Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, they and this is like a subtle thing that I was thinking about in this scene. When they pull up, Denzel goes into the trunk and hands Ethan Hawke. He's like, "Hey, put this jacket on," and it says "police" on the back. I feel like he does that because they know Denzel knows that they're about to be in a lot of shit here in a second.
Yeah.
So he basically puts the bullseye on Ethan Hawke's back.
See, so like, I totally believe
everyone's just shooting at him rather than.
It says FBI, it says female booty inspector, and like, here, put this on.
That's so stupid.
So stupid.
It is so stupid. Hey, I didn't write it into the movie.
Matt used to wear a hoodie that said FBI on it.
It just said, party police. You're the party police.
Yeah.
So they end up leaving Macey Gray's, and Macey Gray comes out and she's yelling at him because they don't really have a warrant, that menu from earlier.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the neighborhood starts blasting on him. Man, Denzel looks like such a badass.
He's got the two guns that he's shooting wildly.
Yeah, you can tell he had some training or something because
he had some training day.
He had some training days.
Like cool training. Like, hey, we're going to train you how to look cool. Like,
yeah, because he does. I mean, this is probably more stylized. The way he's shooting, it might not be accurate at all. I know nothing about shooting.
Okay, I will say that I do know something about this.
Okay.
I was watching something that was like a gun expert talking about guns in movies, right? And how how actors use firearms. And they said it's like almost impossible to use two pistols.
Yeah.
Because and to aim them straight. Because like your perception. Yeah, your depth perception makes no sense. Because you can't because you have to, when you aim, it's to aim straight down the middle, right?
And you're not aiming. That's why you always one eye. So because if you're two eyes, it's going to be harder.
Yeah. So it's like, if they said it's like physically impossible to shoot two pistols at the same time and be able to hit your target. And honestly, I don't know if that's to say anything because he doesn't hit anybody.
Yeah. I think it's just shooting wildly to cause distraction or
I think so too.
Scare him off or something.
Speaking of, side note, I guess they show clips from Collateral in academies because I guess the way Tom Cruise draws his gun from his hip is so accurate that they want people to do that. And I'm like, that's insane, man. Talk about dedication to your craft.
They do that with Heat, right?
Yeah. Two different Michael Mann movies. They said, I think they were also showing the Val Kilmer aiming and reloading. They said, if you can't shoot and reload as fast as him, then you shouldn't be in the Navy SEALs. I think it was Navy SEALs or something.
Yeah.
From Top Secret?
Yeah, I think it's when and he's doing the Elvis.
He's underwater. He's underwater hitting people.
He's like, if you can't do this, get out of my platoon.
So another scene, I don't know if this is in order, but they go visit Scott Glenn. And Denzel and Scott Glenn have this really cool relationship. They seem like buddies.
Yeah, because they knock on the door and Scott Glenn answers, right? And he's like, "Oh, my bad. I thought this was Lance Henriksen's house."
I was about to say, oh, sorry, wrong house.
This isn't Millennium. So they go in and they talk. And is Scott Glenn's a retired drug dealer? Is this correct?
I'm not surprised.
Yes.
I'm not sure if he's supposed to be a retired cop or what, but he is.
I think he's a retired drug dealer. I think because he did prison time and he got out, and I think he's one of Alonso's informants,
like a confident or CI or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. And so this is basically here just to introduce this character, and so they leave, and then this is when we kind of get the plot because Denzel goes to meet with the three
kings. I think that's what they call them.
They're all what are their positions?
I think they're like detectives. I think just
like attorneys and detectives, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think there's two detectives. I think Harris Yulin and Tom Berenger are both detectives. Harris Yulin is Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, the Scolari brothers gave him the chair.
So yeah, I think they're both detectives, and then the other guy who I'm not sure. I think his name is Raymond J. Barry. I think he's either like an attorney or something. Basically, higher powers, they know everything that's going on.
Wasn't he in Lost?
Which one?
Not Tom Berenger and not
Harris
Scolari.
Not
Raymond J. Barry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's Jack's dad, right?
Ray Shepard. Interesting. No way, that's not him.
Is it him?
No, because the guy that plays Jack's dad is also Felix Slater in one of the Bond movies, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Man, we're going down a hole.
It's not him.
Stop.
Okay, it's not him from Training Day.
It's Jack's grandfather in Lost. So yeah, he is.
So yeah, it was him Lost. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, not the dad though. Not the dad.
Granddad.
Okay. Yeah, granddad.
So Denzel ends up he pays to get a search warrant, right, for Scott Glenn's house.
Yeah, and with Macey Gray money.
Yeah,
yeah. From the record that she made, she's like, "This is Macey Gray money."
That hit single she had in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, okay, seeing Macey Gray. What was Macey Gray famous for? Why can't I remember? What was the song?
You sing it.
Try to say goodbye.
Yeah,
I choke.
Okay.
Trying to walk away and I stumble.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I think you have
so
a career.
This is a Macey Gray impersonator. Just that one song. The one I know. So this is where we kind of found out the plot that Denzel is in some trouble with some Russians. Or this is about that time we figured this out.
This is where they said like, "Hey, I heard you had a fun night in Vegas," But you don't really get the full story until when he sets up Ethan Hawke towards the end. You get the full story there.
But I guess
this is cool. This is a cool little sprinkling they do throughout the story.
They're basically saying like, "You're super F, dude. Like you messed up."
Yeah. And so basically what they do is they get the warrant. They go to Scott Glenn's house, and he has a bunch of money under his kitchen floor. Mm-hmm. And so they dig that up, and it's like $4 million or something, or that's more than that. I'm sorry. It's like an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
And so they all split it between them, leave the rest, and end up shooting Scott Glenn. And they put up this whole scenario where like, well, we walked in and he tried to shoot us, so we shot him. And this is such an intense scene just watching this, because you can tell Ethan Hawke doesn't want to do it at all.
Oh, he's surprised. I mean, he's not anticipating that they're about to kill a guy in this house or whatever. But it's cool like watching the scene because you realize that he's like, Denzel slowly putting the fingerprints on the shotgun. He's like, "Here, take the shooter or whatever," so he hands Ethan Hawke the shotgun, and then basically you start realizing like the PCP, the alcohol, it's like in his system. It's all setting him up to blackmail him to play ball with like.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and during this, okay.
My question is, how do they explain the giant hole in the kitchen? Right. As far as like the report goes, because they set it up for the guy to get the first person to enter the house gets shot.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke shoots him.
Yeah.
and then they call for backup. So how do they explain this giant hole in the kitchen?
I don't know. Well, because they had a search warrant to search his house.
Yeah, maybe it was just he knew that it's a confidential informant, maybe, and that he had the money or something. I don't know. Yeah, I can't really.
Yeah, that's a good question though.
So that's the only hole that I'm going to poke in this movie. That's that's
valid.
Yeah.
So I will say this scene. I keep wanting to say Drew Hill, Dr. Dre, Cisco over here. Dr. Dre drives me crazy because he keeps like, and you could tell he's like pissing Ethan Hawke off. He's like, we should just kill him. Let's just take him out.
Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke pops him in the face. And this is when all the cops come. And this is like, I feel like this is like the turning point in the movie.
Dre's cool in this, by the way. We haven't talked about that, but I think like Dre does a good job because I've never seen him in anything else.
The Wash.
Did you see him?
Yeah, The Wash with Snoop Dogg, and they run a car wash. Pauly Shore. No.
Really?
No.
I'll send you a clip later on.
Okay. I think we should add it to the end. Wait, can we get a fourth box in here where just the trailer for The Wash plays over and over?
It's just playing the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
The waiting screen.
So yeah, this is like the turning point in the movie. We do meet Eva Mendes here at some point, as we talked about earlier in the podcast, which we find out is one of his girls with one of his sons.
I think this is the second time you meet her, right?
Yeah, this is the second time we meet her.
Oh yeah, I guess they've already met her at this point.
Yeah, they met her earlier, yeah.
So they go off and they do their own thing, and Ethan Hawke is left with the little boy. And
wait, what?
This is way beginning.
Yeah, this is way before all this stuff happens at the basically the heist.
Because the next portion of this movie is Denzel gives him a little pep talk about like, you can be like me, you can have my job, like I don't know if he says he's like retiring or whatever, but like he basically gives us a whole pep talk. They go over to the I think the gang, like the Mexican or Latino gang.
Well, the reason I was going to stop you before that is the reason I was talking about the Eva Mendes thing is because I feel like it's important to the movie that he sets up that relationship that he has with that little boy. Yeah. Because they've had this bonding moment, know, because it totally paid. There's so many things that happen to be coincidences and that pay off later on for Ethan Hawke. And one of those is this upcoming scene where Denzel leaves Ethan Hawke at this house and he doesn't know, but Denzel ends up leaving. Yeah. And the guys there are supposed to kill Ethan Hawke. Yeah. And I feel like this is the most intense scene of the movie.
This is like the most like awkward, like when he comes to the realization. He's like,
they're just sitting there playing cards and the tension's there and they're making small talk and you're just waiting for something to happen.
Even to the point where he's like, let me see your gun. Like, what kind of gun do you have?
Yeah.
You're just like, don't give him the gun. Like,
right.
It's crazy because this movie plays off on the whole putting like Ethan Hawke into awkward positions where it's just like they play on his like naive, I don't want to say naivete. I hate that word. Naiveness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just kind of like they like putting him into awkward situations where he's like, I guess I'll do it here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's the continuation that he'll do whatever it takes. But at this point, it's like, why are you still going along with Denzel when you just saw him kill
someone? Dude, I said this out loud, like right after the heist. I was like, I would not be getting in that car with Denzel. I would not be like, I'm like, hey, well, we're still on the clock. Let's finish our hours up.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, I'm not getting in your car.
I'm going back to the office.
Do you think I passed the test today? Like, can I get a job?
Yeah. It is a little bit of like a little bump in the story mechanics as far as like, why the hell would he get into that car with Denzel Washington again?
Well, but what else is he going to do? That's his job.
With anybody else.
Just say the job.
He's still working.
I'm not cut out for this job.
Yeah.
All it takes is for Denzel to call him out. And
he's got all the evidence basically.
He's like stuck with him. Yeah.
I guess I'll give you that. I wish there was more of that in there though. That was like, hey, you can't walk away, man. Like I will rat you out. Like, all right.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying is like, if you don't play along, like I got 3 other people on my team that will happily testify against you or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That works. That's fine.
Okay.
Once again, my mind's been changed.
So they take Ethan Hawke and they throw him in the bathtub and they're getting ready to shoot him. And before that, they search through his pockets and they find the wallet of the girl that was almost raped earlier that he saved.
Deus Ex wallet here. It saved his life, literally.
Right?
Yeah.
And this moment is so cool how because it's not a throwaway scene, but him picking up the wallet is such a throwaway thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then the fact that it comes back and that it was the cousin of the guy that's going to shoot him.
Well,
and
like even
go because of it is awesome.
But even like when he calls her and she's like, you sure nothing happened today? You didn't skip school? She's like, no, went to every class. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like you're so intense, like, oh my God, she's going to lie to him right now. And it's going to like,
he's like, okay, that's all I need to know. Bang.
Yeah. Cause like the thing is like, we're at the end of this movie. Like this could go down. This could happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's formatted really well for it to be like, yeah, the movie could end with him getting his brains blown out in this bathtub and be like training day. Yeah. And it says
TD.
It says 2 ? Like, maybe?
It's like the Back to the Future, like coming soon to a new, theater, the sequel.
Ethan Hawke will return. Like,
question mark?
It shows the guy from Cabin in the Woods, like college kid will return? Question mark? What?
That's for the spin-off of the franchise universe that they're creating in this movie.
Everyone wanted to know what happened to him.
Dude, I wouldn't put it past it because right now, like in Hollywood, they're trying to do this with like every movie to the point where I heard that Eastern Promises is getting a spin-off sequel with starring Jason Statham.
15, or is it like almost 20 years after the fact now? Or no, it's like 15 years, I think, at this point.
Like everyone's really excited about this like spin-off sequel to Eastern Promises.
God, I've been waiting already for a sequel of that bathhouse scene. I hope Jason Statham is
that it doesn't have Viggo Mortensen in it or David Cronenberg involved.
So stupid.
Yeah, speaking of like spin-offs are like too little too late. Training Day TV show a couple years ago.
It didn't last because Bill Paxton passed away during the production.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or was that like, Training Day that Bill Paxton was on? Is that right?
He was basically like the corrupt officer in the...
Was he? Yeah.
In the show. It's not like the same characters because I was looking it up earlier. But I think it lasted like less than a season because he had passed away during the...
I totally forgot he was on it. So I don't know if that was I don't know if it was good or bad. I just knew it. I think I saw when it was coming out, I think the ratings weren't that great. Really? That's a bummer. Yeah. So Ethan Hawke ends up getting away, or they let him go. And he goes to Eva Mendes' house. He knocks on the door. He gets the kid's attention because he's like earned his trust. And he's like, will you be my new dad? And
so sad.
I'm like, this is weird. And so Ethan Hawke gets in and confronts Denzel, and then from like here on out is just awesome because they have like this intense gun battle in the apartment and they're fighting on the roofs, and then you think Ethan Hawke is down for the count, and as Denzel goes to leave in his car, he jumps on his car and he's crashing into every car on the street.
Dude, good for him, man, because if he was like a foot off that jump and just fell in front of the street. Like, I feel like this whole scene would have went completely different. And like Denzel just like, it just falls right next to the car. And Denzel's like, oh my gosh, he committed suicide. Like,
he just solved all my problems.
Thank you. So they get out and they confront each other. And this is the neighborhood that's supposed to be like really rough.
Yeah.
And everybody on the street comes out to watch this. And this whole interaction's great. Denzel's selling it.
This is
a monologue's awesome.
This is a real awkward turn for Denzel when he realizes that he has no friends.
Nobody's on his side. Yeah.
But they kind of state that throughout the movie is like nobody likes this dude. Like everyone he comes into contact with either will say it to his face or say it behind his back.
I actually didn't really even like
that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I actually didn't really notice it until this viewing. But like when he first enters the neighborhood, he's like saying hey to everybody, whatever. But like as he walks by, you hear like I had subtitles turned on, but you could hear like background like fucking hate that dude. You know?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was gonna ask, was anybody distracted by Terry Crews in the background?
I was waiting for him to do like the robot or something. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I had no clues in this, and then like I didn't realize during the whole monologue he's in the background like blurred out, and I was like, yeah, it's Terry Crews. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. It's awesome. I love that guy.
There's a video.
I love
Terry Crews is awesome.
Yeah.
There's a video that Terry Crews just released where he's doing the robot from White Chicks, but he's doing it. To me. He's doing it in front of a projector screen of him dancing in White Chicks. So he's like dancing in front of him dancing. It's hysterical. I'll send it to you guys.
He is awesome on just real quick because I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine here there. He is incredible on that show. He is.
I need to give it a chance. I've seen it before, but I didn't love it.
He's awesome.
I watched him. I think a couple Christmases ago. They did a ABC, I think it was, or NBC, put out a half an hour show of him just painting.
Oh, nice!
Like Bob Ross style, like nothing weird, nothing goofy,
cool.
Just him painting, and it was like the most wholesome thing. And I was like, this is really cool because he's a really good painter.
And then apparently he's like super into building computers. I think like he picked up the hobby because his son is like really into computers, so he picked it up to like
he did a gaming computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
He built like a gaming computer.
Very, very cool.
And he was a NFL player.
Yep, short career in the NFL.
Guy's got some cool interest.
He's great.
So training day. So this is like the last interaction between these two characters, and Ethan Hawke has him at gunpoint, shoots him in the butt, takes his money.
Yeah.
So now
I love that he does that. He's like, you shot me in the ass.
Dude, it's awesome. Because it's funny, but it's also really intense at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so now Ethan Hawke's taking the money because now he can't get the money to the Russians.
Russians, yeah.
Because I know we didn't really discuss it, but Denzel killed some guy out of rage.
I think he basically in an altercation, he beat a Russian mobster to death. And
now he owes them.
He owes them. Otherwise, they put a hit. Like if they can't pay by midnight on a certain date, they're basically going to kill him.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
So Ethan Hawke is taking that money so he can't pay him off. And Ethan Hawke leaves. We got the Denzel who's driving down the street. And this is such a cool scene because you don't know where this is going.
Right.
And this lady pulls up next to him. He kind of keeps glancing at her. And then all of a sudden, all these cars come out of nowhere and just shoot up the car and kill Denzel. And it is such a out of left field scene. It is insane. And then after that insane dramatic moment, we just see Ethan Hawke go home and it fades to black.
He's like, honey, you're never going to believe the day I had.
I can't think of a joke on that. That's good. Let me tell you about my day.
And then it's like training day 2? ?
But it's TOO.
Anybody notice in the background though, when he's getting in the car, there's a car parked behind him?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, and someone's like getting out.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So there was a scene that was filmed and deleted, and it's him meeting up with the 3 wise men.
Oh.
Right there. And basically all it is like, hey, did you hear Alonso got killed? He didn't make his meeting to the Russians, and then he got killed. And he's like, where's the money? And they're like, and he's like, well, the money's I put it in the evidence bin at the station. But like, that's it. That's how the movie would have ended. But I feel like if it would have ended that way, I would have felt like a little bit that Ethan Hawke would be in danger, right?
I would think the same thing.
Like,
I didn't
he's
even
gonna
notice
get bumped
that.
off.
Yeah, I actually didn't even notice that.
But I also feel like too,
weird.
he shouldn't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it looks like a reflection because as Ethan Hawke's getting out, you see somebody else getting out at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you caught that.
I saw it, and then it was on the IMDb trivia that there was a deleted scene they filmed.
That makes sense.
I wonder if there's like a deleted scene or something of that.
I'm sure there is. I didn't look it up, but I feel like too though with the money, he should just gave that money to the neighborhood. Like instead
that would be a cool ending.
Instead of taking it to the station, because then he wouldn't have any questions to answer. Like, hey, where'd you get this $1 million from? You know, he'd be able to just like walk home away from it, and he would have.
Well, you're never gonna believe the day I had.
Let me tell you about my day.
But if he just gave it to the neighborhood, then there would have been like no ties to him even being around Alonso at all, or like, hey, or him filling out that paperwork that said, "Hey, what are you putting on? What are you putting in the inventory?" Like, oh, I'm just storing this $1 million that I found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool about that neighborhood too is I feel like he's got to trust that neighborhood now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
When he becomes a detective, like he'll be the opposite of what Denzel was, and like they'll respect him. At least that's how I played it out in my head.
Hopefully.
But had he given the money, it would. But then if he would have given the money, he would have been no different than Denzel. You know, if you put it that way, like it's the path towards what Denzel was doing.
Yeah, but I feel like,
know.
but I feel like it's not even paying off people. Just it's all dirty money anyways. Like, just give it to them. Like, it's untraceable, and it's like it's not going to do anybody any good sitting in a inventory storage. This is going to destroy me for my police application, by the way.
Matt.
You said this on a podcast one time that if you were found dirty money, you just give it away.
Oh man.
But I'm just saying, I feel like that's the way it should have ended. That way, like, he has no ties to whatever happened that day.
Yeah. So that's Training Day, 2001. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 73%. Honto, what would you give it?
I'd give it like low to mid 80s. Okay. I think it's pretty dang good.
Okay. Matt, what would you give it?
Check it out.
Oh, this is in the 90s for me, I feel like.
Okay.
For sure. I feel like this movie has got like the story mechanics are great, the acting's great, like the directing's great. Everything, I couldn't find any faults in this movie while watching it. So I don't understand why it's in at 76%. Like, I would love to hear, I'm gonna actually go back and reread what people said and be like, why? Like, why would this be a 76?
Mm-hmm.
I would give it, I'm on the same page with you. I give it a 93.
Yeah, okay.
And just because I can't really think of any negatives, definitely 90s for me though. I think it holds up. There's nothing I don't like about the movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would change. So, I mean, it has to be high for me, but that is a good first solid movie to talk about Denzel.
Yeah. And it's the one you won the Oscar for. So
yeah. And it sounds like Honto's going to drag us down into the dirt now.
Well, we're watching next episode is...
Let's do next episode, Virtuosity.
Okay, so we'll take a huge dip and bring it back up for
Inside Man.
Yeah, Inside Man.
Because I don't want to end. If I don't know how Virtuosity is going to be, but if it is really bad, I don't want to be like, that's the end of Denzel month.
That's our spotlight on Denzel Washington. Okay.
Can I ask you guys too, as far as since we're covering Denzel for February, are there any movies on his filmography that you're trying to hunt down to watch for that you haven't seen before for this month?
Not necessarily. I've had interest in Fences, and then I heard the new one he did with Jared Leto's okay.
I feel like I hate this, but I feel like we need to watch it. Like, or at least I need to watch it because we're covering him this month, and that movie just came out.
Should we do a bonus episode?
But I haven't heard good things about it, and it's got a really low rating. So it's
I know Jared Leto's up for a Golden Globe for it.
Oh, really?
Nothing came out in 2020, or is it for 2020 or 2021?
2021, because it came out last week. Or
it's weird that they're doing. Yeah, it's weird that they're doing Golden Globe for 21.
That shouldn't count. Like, I'm sorry, but that shouldn't count.
Well, then maybe it was at a festival or something then.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like at least one of us should watch it so we can at least talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll do.
What do you think on it?
Not it.
All right, Chris.
So we got Virtuosity, Inside Man. Look for those. And then we have a nice bonus Valentine's Day episode. I don't think we did one last year. No, we did. We've talked about this.
Did we?
Last year was something that was kind of Valentine's Day-ish, but it wasn't. Was it My Bloody Valentine's Day last year?
I can't remember. Because previous year we did My Bloody Valentine, and then before that I think we did like Candyman or something.
Yeah, maybe we didn't. But we're back. That's all that matters. And we're doing the 1990 film Ghost. Which we've already all watched, and we're going to talk about it very shortly. So look for that episode as well. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you have any requests, please hit us up on Facebook. You can email us at
CinemaCultPodcast@gmail.com.
And we really appreciate you listening. We love doing it. We hope you love listening and watching it. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Honto.
We'll see you next time.